All right, this is the Public Art Advisory Committee, Monday, September 18th at 4:30 PM. This is a hybrid meeting. People can join in person here at Brisbane City Hall, large conference room, or they may join via Zoom. Okay, and we will start with roll call.
Yes, I would like to do roll call.
Is the first time we've had us all together?
I think so.
And I think so. All of us?
Really?
Okay, where's our,
This is the first.
where's the list of everybody?
Okay, so, I'll go ahead.
yes.
Chair Greenlee,
Present.
Yeah.
Vice Chair Salmon,
Here.
Mayor Davis.
Here.
Councilmember Cunningham.
Here.
Park and Recreation Commissioner Sewell.
Here.
Committee Member Glassman.
Here.
Committee Member Kelstead.
Here.
And there wasn't any requests for emergency circumstances under AB 2449.
Okay, and now approval of the agenda.
I move that we approve the agenda. Oh, do we need to? Oh, yes, sure. Yes, I move that we approve.
Second.
So the agenda is approved. And then we need to approve the minutes from July 17th for the 2023 Public Art Advisory Committee meeting. Everybody get that one?
Yep. I move that we approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor? Good.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, presentation and discussion items.
I had a suggestion if everyone's amenable.
Okay,
Sometimes when we are reviewing a bunch of applications, sometimes what the council does that we find is like really effective is, let's say we pick our top three by show of hands.
oh,
It saves a lot of discussion time because sometimes it's really clear that there's consensus. But you know, sometimes we start there and then it leads to very interesting discussions. So I don't know if that might be a good place to start. If
Well,
people are amenable to that.
actually, I was going to, for this first go round, just go one at a time around the table first. And then everybody kind of briefly talk about their favorites, but you know, it's not a bad idea just to do a show of hands so that what I don't want to happen here is for us to influence each other. I want us all to have our own individual opinions. So if we show a hand right up front, then that kind of shows where we're starting from. And then we can listen to what everybody thinks.
Except that if we go around by the time we
Yeah.
get,
It's gonna be.
it's basically the same thing.
Oh, no, that's just for. Because you've heard
Yeah.
everyone's thoughts.
And
No, I'm talking about the show of hands right up front.
For the top three or the
Yeah, the
top?
top three, like she,
Yeah.
like she suggested. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Top three? Okay, so I'll just go one at a time.
Are we
Okay.
numbering them? Do you want to put numbers next to?
Yeah,
So
why
that we'll
not?
all be referring to the same thing?
Why not?
As
I
we
can
do
keep
it
it.
packet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can keep track.
Okay, can you?
So let's,
Alphabetically, the first one is designing local. That should be the
Yeah.
first one in the
Yeah,
packet.
it is the first one in the packet.
So are we asking people to pick top two or top three?
Top three, I think.
Okay,
It's easy.
so raise your hand if designing locals in your top
Three.
six. Okay, next is forecast public art, FPA.
Hold on, let me get there.
Yeah, let me get there. Is that nine dot?
Is it a PA on the PDF?
FPA.
it's the, it's a, yeah, it's,
Minnesota?
This one.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
That's, okay, okay, forecast, yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
show of hands if that's in your top three. I see two hands. Next was Gail Golden and Associates. Seven. And next was Nine Dot Arts.
Are we?
Show of hands.
Okay.
Two. And finally, Richard Peterson.
oh,
Yeah.
You didn't vote, did everyone vote?
Didn't you?
I'm only voting for two.
3 times?
Yeah, we're
I
only
only
voting for
had,
top three.
I could just,
There's five total.
I'm fine with stuff.
oh my God, I missed the two.
I only wanted two as well.
Okay, well, that's fine.
That's good. That narrows it down.
I think it's pretty clear.
That is. pretty good.
Shall we go around and just briefly state why we think our top three should work?
I think for purposes of an interview, I think we should at least pick three.
Yeah.
Since we had five, just to have something to compare. I think two might pigeonhole us too
Yeah.
tightly. But
So Gail Golden and Associates and Designing Local had the most votes.
Then I'll add 9 dots to give 3.
okay,
I'll put the 9 dots too.
Okay.
Say it there.
or
Anyone who does an airport,
four, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
So wait, who do we have in our top, in our three?
Gail Golden.
Okay.
Designing Local and 9 dot.
Okay, now we're gonna go around and we're just gonna discuss as to what our top three, why we chose our top three. Okay, is that okay? All right, first, Gail Goldman, I think obviously she's got really good local experience and that will come in handy a lot, although I'm hoping that she's not so focused on the Bay Area, she's not open to other more exciting ideas. But I really liked, that she was so local. My number 2 was Designing Local, because they're very young, 10 years experience. They did the Sonoma Art Plan. They're women owned and they focus on local culture. They look like they're very dynamic.
I'm sorry, who did you say?
That's
Nine
my
dot
number 2,
Design
no,
Local.
Designing Local.
Oh, Designing Local, which
Yeah.
was?
Uh,
The forecast,
that-
yes,
That was
number
my,
2.
that was my
Thank you.
number 2.
Yeah.
And then my number 3 was Forecast Public Art because they did Reno and Sparks, Nevada, which are very, Sparks, Nevada is very tiny. And just the quote of what they said from Sparks, the guy said, "Forecast willingness to address our concerns and lay out a new plan to assist us was greatly appreciated. You helped the staff and our Arts Commission know what to expect and how to get there, with which none of us really knew. Your presentation was precise and done with a level that even some of us with very little experience could understand. It has given us groundwork to work with our commission as to where to go from here. We appreciate your willingness to adapt to our needs." And I just thought, Sparks, Nevada. This is kind of like Brisbane, we're a tiny town, but we're in the middle of a big metropolis. And I just thought they seem to have good luck with that. But otherwise, the other 2 are very good. So would you like to?
Sure. So, my first choice was Goldman Associates. I actually felt like out of all of them, they were really the only one that centered arts and community first. And that I had more of a sense of them actually looking at that this is a master plan that we're putting together, not there's not an existing art collection. It just seemed like they seem to be more online with kind of what we're looking to do. And like I said, they were the ones that really centered the arts first and the community involvement in the process. So that's why I put them first. The 9 dot, yeah, I've been in the Denver airport and I've seen that art collection and it is absolutely spectacular. So I actually like them a lot as well. My third choice was the Designing Local. My biggest reservation with them is that they are very urban planning focused, not art focused.
Interesting.
And so I was my choices are for my top 2, I felt were more arts oriented and were more focused on the arts environment. Whereas Designing Local actually seemed much more focused. Like all of the people that work there are planners. They're urban planners. And I didn't.
Keep going.
I didn't quite get the sense that they had as good a feel for Brisbane as the other 2. And then, that was kind of where my thinking was and how I ranked them. I honestly, out of all of them, the Goldman is the one that I actually really, really like. And the others were kind of okay, if we have to choose others, I'll choose those. But Goldman had kind of my full vote. And Yeah.
Okay, great.
So my three choice were the Designing Local, Nine Dots Art, and Arts Built Community, Goldman. And I liked Goldman because it felt not only do they have experience,
I'm sorry, what?
but not only do they have experience, but it felt like the roles that would be attributed were really well set up, like each person, like it felt like you would be handled, like they have done it before. And they did South City, so that's an easy one to compare to and to talk to. And I like the fact that each of their phase had like a time requirement, like 8 weeks, 16 weeks. So, and their plan seems to be very cohesive. So that would be my favorite. But I also like Design Local because not only do they have experience, but they felt much more geared toward like getting the process going, which I think we are going to need a lot of help to keep moving. And I thought because of their experience, they would be better. And I like Nine Dots because such a great portfolio. And that would be really beneficial for our time.
Me?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I actually liked the Design Local. I thought they were a little engaging and edgy and were willing to kind of push the envelope a little bit. So I liked them a lot. And they seem to have been in places that were not so that were willing to bring in a lot of different ideas. I mean, I know that they were near the indigenous people and so which is a whole different voice, so to speak, and to understand the history of that. So they were my favorite. And then came Goldman, and Goldman I liked because we kind of know the track record, and so I'm partial about the fact that the others we didn't, that they were a little edgy for me. I mean, that's how it is. And then Nine Arts, they seem to have it together, but it didn't excite me. And that's where I was at.
Do you want to go next?
Oh, sure. I really gravitated towards two, which was
Design Local.
Goldman and Design Local. Let's start with design. Let's start with Design Local. I decided it felt like more like us, and they've done projects for Emeryville and Los Altos, which is close by. I like the youth. I don't know, it was edgy. It felt like they wanted the job. I would love to meet, by the way, I would love to meet with our top two before we make any decisions if we can. I don't know if that's allowed, but
Yeah,
I think
we
it'd be
are.
great to like,
We're gonna interview them.
great, that'd be terrific.
That's fine.
And then the Goldman's, I mean, obviously, I think they're the, I don't know if I've heard the name around, but there's two people that are local. I mean, if you look at Mrs. Nguyen and Amanda, they're both local, close by. One did work with KPBD and the other was working in San Jose. So it's nice that this La Jolla firm has got some local people on the street that can come by and actually say hello to us. I'm not sure if that's the case, but they certainly put it in. It's well thought out. The other one was, I mean, if anyone could do an airport, which was 9 Dot, airports are like planets. I mean, they're like a country almost. They're really hard to navigate. So if they were able to navigate an airport and do it well, which we've all been there, it's amazing. It would be my third. Thank you, Karen.
Yeah, well, we're trying not to influence you guys, I think is a big part for
Okay.
us. So anytime I read anything about proposals coming in for us to do work with, I'm always sort of sitting there thinking, what would my community think about this? How would my community react to what they've done or what they might do for us? How would these people work with our community? How would they take input? So I'm looking at it a little bit differently as well. But you've got the youth edgy element, you've got if you can design an airport, and then you've got some of the great things that were said by the people at Upwell's community. So it wasn't specifically the work they've done, but it was, I was reading attitude here
Oh,
that I
yeah.
liked and going, yay, let's bring on a young team. And of course, anybody who could take on SFO is kind of pretty cool in my books. And this young team as well looks like they're hungry.
Golden.
Yes, it's community, sorry. So designing local, love the edge, love the youth aspect of it, and they look like they really want the job. Obviously, if you score, as in public art master plan from 9 dots, the SFO, you got some kudos going on there, but this felt like they could work with us too. And I just like what was coming out of Goldman Associates. And it's all around how I feel they would respond to our community from my perspective.
So for me, I'm trying to think of things that haven't yet been said, but we're hiring someone to create a written document for us. And they're giving a sample of a written document in which they're selling themselves to us. So that right away, not even looking at what was said, but how am I navigating the document that you're submitting for me to consider hiring you? Just on that, I felt that Designing Local had the best example of a easy to read, easy to navigate written document. So that is incredibly important to me because we need something that's gonna have color, gonna have pictures, gonna be easy to read. This is something that's gonna be a resource for our whole community. I loved the infographics that they created just about the process. And so I know that graphically and technically, they could do a really good job in creating a document that we would have that would serve us for many years. Obviously, I mean, Gail Goldman, we've seen a lot of her work, and I believe, like I asked staff, she's the one who did Belmont. And we all engaged with that plan, and we said, whoever made this one, we want to invite to make ours. So I think that that's a no-brainer, obviously. We've already engaged with that work. And then for 9 dot, I was looking at their example of that space in Austin, and they're planning for art integrated into like what's in a large development. And I just thought that, well, we're gonna make a public art master plan for the city of Brisbane, but we're also gonna need to make one probably for the Baylands specifically and integrating art into the vision of building that space out. And so this is a team who I thought, they have experience specifically doing that, combining art with development of residential and commercial property. And it's a large scale. So I thought that, it made sense to me that whoever we would hire, and I mean, we could change our minds, but I would think if we had a really great experience with the people that we would hire for this, then we would probably engage with them to do another project if it's Bayland specific. I mean, they could totally be different firms, but that's the part that stood out to me because I know later on down the line, we're going to need to think about that. But ultimately, I mean, I think it sounds like we're pretty much on the same page, and I'm just excited to speak with the teams directly. And I think you get so much from doing this process so many times. That's what really it makes people stand out, and that's what really gives you an idea of what it's like working with them. So I can't wait to go through that process with all of you and see who comes out on top.
And further to what Madison just said, if you put yourself in our shoes, making that recommendation back to the entire council, it's like, we're sort of thinking different things, like, what would Danielle think? What would Tom think? What would Lisa think? Well, can our community pick up this document and read it the same way we did, without it being like, what the heck is that? And that's what I got out of these guys.
I was trying to figure out, because I read these, and one of these, and I thought it was Design Local said they wanted to make sure the public art was fun. Was that them?
I read
that
line.
Where is that line?
Just do a search. Yeah.
Ah, there you go.
Sort of fun.
Fun. I think it was design local.
We construct fun, one-of-a-kind experience.
Yeah.
We emphasize fun and creativity.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
it. And that was designing local, and I like,
Engaging.
I mean, like, for instance, this,
We
this-
believe the city
this-
should be fun.
yeah, these fish swimming the opposite way of traffic, you know, swimming upstream. I mean, just that, I like
Put a
that.
smile on your face if
Mhm.
you're driving by, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
And so I don't want us to just do murals and things. I don't know. I thought that they thought outside the box a little more, but you know, you have to weigh. So there you
Were
go.
my favorite.
And it's gonna be really interesting, you know, it's like. We've done this in process so many times. People put their resumes in to be on a committee or a commission or whatever. And you read them and some of the people I know and you go, oh, that person would be great. But other people are like, I don't know this person. And you read the resume and you take that resume for what it says.
Mhm.
And then when you interview them, the answer could be, oh, hell no, and the voice you wrote in. So.
So you
It's happened a
can,
few times.
Yep.
Where I've read the resume and I got super excited and then they interviewed and I'm like, oh, God.
yeah, yeah.
It would kill me.
And that could totally happen with this. We could.
You never
really-
know.
You
right,
never know.
right, Absolutely.
But I'm glad that we're kind of on the same page with the top.
It's called Madison. I like that. Raising the hands thing.
Yeah, thank you, Madison.
With my kids.
And we might be able to follow that same
Process.
process. And sometimes we do like, if we couldn't find a consensus, it was so close, it was like, we'll vote for your, just only your number one or whatever. I mean, that's probably what we'll have to do if we're only interviewing three.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're, either way it goes, if we had any of these three, I think we would be in a really good spot. So,
My question to maybe anyone is there a big difference in price? Or are they all pretty much?
So what we published in the RFP was a not to exceed amount of $75,000, and then we included a contingency ask to city council for things like pop-up events for community engagement.
Yeah.
So you won't see the cost of the proposal until you select a consultant, but they were all responsive proposals, so they're within that $75,000.
And if somebody comes up with a really great idea that we hadn't thought of, we all go, wow, that's fabulous.
Mhm.
Then we have to reconsider what we're thinking kind of thing.
a lot of these lists too, like what the contract was, which I think is helpful.
Mhm.
So I think they all seem to be in the neighborhood of like 50 to 75.
Okay.
So I think we can get, you know, they wouldn't have applied, I think, if it didn't fall within their budget.
Yeah, it was kind of a dumb question, but I was just wondering if there was.
Not them at all.
No.
If it was, because I didn't read that fine print, I wanted to make sure we weren't talking, we were doing apples to apples.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
You know,
All right, I'm gonna, I just checked my email for public comment. I don't have any public comment. Is there anybody on Zoom that does have a public comment on this particular item? You can raise your hand and I'll call on you. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and close public comment. Like I said, I did not receive any emails on that particular topic item, so direction to staff.
What I'm understanding is that we're gonna invite these three prospective firms, Gail Goldman and Associates, Designing Local and 9.Arts, to a future interview.
Yes.
yes,
Okay, do we want to designate a time allocation for each firm so that I can let them know when we invite them to the interview? Do we want to say 20 minutes
I was
plus
thinking
Q and A?
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
20 minutes.
20 minutes, you should know it.
Okay,
Otherwise, we're.
20 minutes, then maybe do a
Magic.
15-minute in
Sure enough.
between each, something like that.
Oh, that would be nice to.
So then.
Yeah,
To digest.
it's,
Digest.
it's
Yeah.
needed because
Yeah.
people will roll
Digest.
over.
Yeah, and also it kind of separates your brain into, you know.
Yeah.
So the way that we've done like a lot of these interviews in the past is that it basically is like enough time for each of us to ask one question.
Mhm.
So sometimes staff prepares some questions. Sometimes like Karen, she'll ask the same question every single time. I will usually ask something different every single time. But usually based like everyone else's questions are so good that you get so much information that way, and it gives you that time to ask that one thing that's really important to you. So that might be like how we would could structure an interview.
So are you saying that you're proposing that staff put up a few designated questions that are asked each time. And then there's one question that might come up from each person.
No, I would say,
I don't, well, yeah.
I would say that staff could create like a list of questions in case somebody doesn't want to think of their own. Because sometimes you can't, you're just like, oh, wow, that's a really good one. I'm gonna
Yeah,
ask that
that's what
one.
I'm saying.
And then sometimes you might just have your own question.
Yeah, I often don't use.
Right. Yeah, but everybody would be allotted one question.
Right.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because that, I think it's gonna take
Yeah.
20 minutes. That will probably be even more than 20 minutes.
Right.
So we're not asking them to do a presentation, we'll just.
Well, I think they should have an introduction.
Yeah, like a pitch.
You know,
We'll hear their
a
pitch.
prologue, a
Okay.
forward.
Probably like 3 minutes
Okay.
or 5 minutes, something that's brief,
Okay.
because
Well, yeah.
Because we've
letting them
already
know
read,
that
we've
they
already
have
read
to
what
be
we've had.
For their interview, which includes their understanding of what they want us to know and then followed by questions.
Plus we can, now that we've chosen 3, go back and do another deep dive.
Yeah.
Look at their work.
Into the 3.
And I mean, you might find your own
Yeah.
questions that you find really important to answer.
for a
Right.
specific project. Tell me about what the process was like for
Mhm.
this one.
Should we, if we come up with any specific questions, should we forward them to you? In case there's like,
Yeah, you can to avoid duplicating.
well, just in case it's something that you haven't thought of,
Mhm.
or we haven't thought of.
Yeah. Sure.
Thanks.
All right.
Okay.
Is it fair to ask them to do an exercise? No, write a,
Yeah.
Oh, ahead of time.
write a mission statement for our town,
Yeah.
That's interesting.
you know, if you're gonna write a mission statement, 1 paragraph.
But they're still learning about us. We haven't had it.
I know, do the research,
Show your commitment.
That's
Show your commitment.
do the research.
No.
Oh, boy.
That's tough, but it's cool.
I don't know, I was thinking of a mission statement, this group.
I think. it-
I'm like, why don't we have someone else do the work?
Yeah.
But this one might go, what? That was my mission statement.
Nah.
Yeah.
I do
would
think
love to
it's
see-
interesting that 2 of them put pictures of San Francisco.
Yes.
Well, they don't have any.
Yeah, but like they didn't make like
This one did, this did, the mural.
no, this. Oh,
That's us.
Ah, well, that doesn't count.
This is not us.
We're on there.
And I mean,
somewhere.
barely.
I looked, I actually did look.
I was like,
We're on the writing.
we're under the, yeah, and that one's like the bridge.
Mhm. All right, you wanna?
Okay,
move
yes.
on to this?
Let's move on now that I've lost my agenda. Here it is. Okay. Item E, review the current catalog of hydrants and their current locations, discuss the next steps and replacement opportunities.
Okay, so this is just kind of more informational, but also looking to get some guidance, and we can bring this back to our next meeting. So staff updated our hydrant catalog with locations.
Wow.
Unfortunately, the links on the left are not working from this computer, but they link to an image of every hydrant. So we've been at work over the past month so that we have kind of an updated living document of hydrants so that we can better keep track of them. And so if you scroll down,
You're up there.
I keep going. So we identified the ones that were at the plug preserve. So these are all the ones that were at the plug preserve that were removed and are currently being stored at the courtyard.
That's making my eyes do something.
Yeah.
It's often really blue.
Oh, here, do like this. It's very, the blue is really.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's the outline.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't look at it too.
Okay, don't look at
I'm
it.
glad it's that.
Okay,
Now that I know it's that, not me, it's okay.
I'm feeling way better too. Way over.
Okay,
It's fine.
so
Oh, clown. I've been
I
wondering about
found
that
we
clown.
found the clown.
I've been like, bring me the clown.
Okay,
Yes.
so these are photos of the ones from. Do I need to move this?
From, was those from Julie's?
Yes.
That were removed, okay, I remember that.
Oh, the share screen.
No,
Pause. Let's see.
Yeah, just, yeah, next.
So just to give you a sense
Mhm.
of, we have all of those.
Okay.
Oh, the Shamrock one.
Yes.
Where's that one from?
Just
Just in
I
storage?
think it's just in storage.
Yeah.
I think we're not sharing those, so we just- yes, I need to figure out a way to, hold on one moment, guys, I'm sorry. We're gonna share,
Photos on the left.
This
There.
one.
Yeah.
I know, I was trying to think if we could just share the whole, like, as we skip between everything.
There we go. Yeah.
But anyway, Okay.
Okay, so that's the inventory of hydrants from the plug preserve, but then we also have an inventory of hydrants at the courtyard. You can go back to the folder.
Oh, I'm gonna have to keep it. So I need to be able to share the screen, but share all of it. Share screen. I'm just gonna share screen and that way it'll click around with us. Okay, there we are.
Okay, so go back to hydrants and then
There you go.
courtyard.
Second. Courtyard.
Okay, yeah, okay, so the clown is there.
Yes, there it is.
And then there's a handful of other ones in addition that are kind of in various stages of disrepair.
Very cool.
And then
I might be able to know which those are. Oh, that's for B. Lawrence,
Yeah.
the honeybee.
so I might
Well, there's an
have you
updated
sit down with
one,
me and kind of
though. I
update
think
the
there's an
catalog.
updated one from B. Lawrence, isn't there? No, or is that it?
The B is B. Lawrence.
I know, but I thought they had an updated one that's in place.
Yeah,
right
do
now.
we have a
Yeah.
B in
Yeah,
place?
yeah,
I
that's
don't
what
think
I,
so. I
no,
don't think we do.
oh,
Oh, wow.
So there's quite a few that are just out of service or
Nice.
historic.
Did you find the one Cliff's daughter made?
It's still there.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
it's
there.
still there.
Okay,
yeah.
I thought it was out.
No, it's
Oh,
still
okay,
there.
cool.
On the street.
Nice.
Which one was it again?
The one
It's
by
like
Beauty
a
Fix.
winter.
Winter girl.
phase.
Yeah, it
Oh.
says
Winter
girl
princess.
on the.
By Beauty.
No,
It's on
sorry.
visitation and.
Yeah.
Mariposa.
Across the street from the E.
By Beauty Fix.
Yeah,
Right in front of
yeah,
you.
correct.
Okay.
Yes,
I'll have to go focus on that.
yes. So
Saw it today.
we have quite a few to kind of play around with. I know the last time we talked about this, we identified the community park kind of on the opposite side of the bus stop from the festival tree as an ideal location in addition to
Yeah.
Quarry Park. There's
Right.
quite a bit of space there that we can work with, possibly at Firth and maybe placing one or two here at City Hall. So there's enough hydrants to place.
Right.
I think it's just a
Right.
matter of, I know that we talked about possibly grouping them into themes or painting some of the ones that are out of commission to align with the grouping. So I think the next step is to kind of navigate what that will look like based on your.
I think to a certain extent, it's easier to group them right now as opposed like by the opening to the Quarry Road. When we get to Firth Park, since there's something going on, we may want to hold off a little bit to find out exactly what's going on there. So that we're not changing or having to modify or whatever, so that it becomes kind of a little more cohesive.
Speaking of Firth Park, did we figure out, are they changing the piping through there? What are we doing in Firth Park?
Oh, the first
That
park,
was part of.
first
the
park is
question.
next.
Well, that's-
No, oh,
First park is.
It's on our agenda
That's the
next.
next agenda item.
Our next agenda item.
Well, the other thing to note too is to take a catalog and see how many of them are people, how many of them are animals or nature related, so we can see like if 2/3 of them are all people, it's gonna be hard to say, we might say, okay, well, then that means that collection is all in one place and is that a fair distribution?
Or is it aesthetically working in the space?
Yeah.
I'm
Not so much
more
number.
concerned
Yeah, not so much
about,
number
I'm
as-
more concerned about how aesthetically they work in the space.
Yeah, aesthetic.
Having some tall
Yeah.
ones, some short
Other
ones.
than-
So not by theme then.
No, I
I
don't
don't-
know.
I don't know if that's necessary.
I think it's kind of fun to discover differences.
know.
among-
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Can we print pictures of them so we can
We can play with
play
them.
with them?
Yeah. I think
Oh,
that
let's
would be
do that.
great. I think that'd be great. Have a wall or.
Or maybe we should just
some
go to the
posters.
courtyard.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
That's, pictures aren't gonna. I think.
No, but
scale
I-
and color, like. you
yeah,
can
they
see.
are, but when you, I mean, I want to see them for sure, but when you're putting together a design, it's good to have like, as far as what I would do is take a picture of the site, take all my pictures of the things and just go until I get them kind of grouped the way I want, and I'd go from there. But of course, we're all gonna have different
Yeah,
groupings,
right.
so I don't know how that works.
I'm not gonna argue about this one.
Yeah, no,
Remember, art is always an argument.
that's right.
That's the mission statement.
I use it.
As it should, as it should be.
I publicly use it. Art is always an argument.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think,
I'm
I would also like to think about how they're put in the environment, like, is there landscaping around? What's the surface they're sitting on? Do you know what I mean? As they're, how will they be maintained and how easy will it be to get to them? You know, I mean,
Well, here's the other side. The ones that are presently in the park right now
Yeah.
are so much fun.
yeah,
So there was not a lot put into it. Do you know what I mean?
There's
I
really
mean, so
not.
we have to, if
Yeah.
we're gonna start getting into something that's a little more complex, then it would seem as though we would need to get someone to start putting in proposals. I was there just the other day. They're so much fun to
Mhm.
discover them.
yeah.
Oh, and I didn't see a theme.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, about
And
fun.
And
And that was
for
the thing
me,
with
it was
Julie's
just,
too.
well, I was with a baby, but to be there and go, oh, look, and
There
to
is
go
one that's
was
in
much
bad
more
shape.
fun. So
Yeah.
I don't,
It's just like all one color or something like
I don't necessarily, I think it's more like just to,
that.
not as a display. Maybe
says
that's what we're thinking. For me, I don't think it needs to be so, the element of curated,
Yeah,
but I don't want it to be a display.
right. Okay.
And
Is that-
what are the plan for refurbishing
Yeah,
them?
Do
Or
we,
we can turn that into a fun project.
Yeah, that could be whatever you
Well, I
want it to
mean,
be.
there's like, we do the fire
Yeah.
hydrant painting.
Yeah.
Every like, it's
Every other year.
become every other year. You
Yeah.
have a list. And now we can say, now we have a bunch of blank ones, which is rare.
yeah.
We have that many.
Mhm.
So then we could say, then we could come up with a plan of like what we want from those. Do we want to just put it out to the community and let whoever? Do we want to see if there are some local Brisbane artists? That's what I did. Like I
That's
reached out to
insane,
you and I was like, do you want to do one? I reached out to you and
Yeah.
those.
Did you collect like submit like a concept plan
No.
first, just to
No.
be sure that it's not gonna be something?
I was like, I know you can do a great job. Here's a blank hydrant. Are you interested in painting and what would you put on it? And she
as
was,
long as it
was
wasn't
like,
advertised.
I'll do koi fish. And then I was like, I asked Camille and she was like, we'll do a dance themed one.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. So,
Pretty.
that's kind of how
I
it
think-
went.
It's not a paid thing. What I think is great about it is that it's all a volunteer, community oriented thing that's not a professional art thing, but
Yeah.
it shows what our community can do, which I think is really cool.
And some random person like in the community that wasn't an art person was like, I want to do the Nutcracker. And I was like, great. And it was awesome. And then Avi did one. He did like a giant dragon.
Oh, yeah.
So some people I reached out to specifically knowing that they had the
She did
talent and other people just came forward.
Got repainted.
So,
I didn't like it.
what were you gonna say?
The
Tom?
person
Oh.
whose
Yeah.
house it was next to and.
Oh, yeah, it was a big drama.
Yeah.
It was a big drama.
Yeah.
I love the idea that
Yeah.
you brought up about the personality. If we're gonna do a theme,
Yeah.
some of those fire hydrants have personalities, like a little personality of all different sizes and shapes, and that represents so much, right? So if there was a cluster, it'd be fun to
Make it,
show the personality of
Within that, yeah.
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 So it's always a surprise, but not a display.
Can we bring back the dragon and put it somewhere else?
Oh, no, it doesn't
No,
exist.
It got painted over.
It got
Right?
painted over.
Someone just
No, not at night.
during the day.
Well, that
Well,
was an
what's
insult
nice-
to whoever did it. so
Yes,
maybe-
Because it was gonna increase crime.
Oh,
Because
Oh.
it was all the teens were gonna loiter next to it because it was such an attraction to.
Okay, well, they're gonna
hanging
hate
out.
my house because I'm getting a dragon for the front yard.
yeah.
No one
Okay.
went to the dragon across the street from my house, but anyway.
Have like personality from Brisbane that, because a lot of those fire hydrants are named after Brisbane people. Do we have new people pool of people that we would like to include?
Yeah, we have you.
No.
I think it's like if you I wanted to do a hydrant and I wanted to pay homage to Jeannie because she's the one who started this whole thing. And so I said to staff, I'm gonna do a Jeannie. But that's the easiest, and it doesn't say it never says anyone's name. The people who know.
Mhm.
And I made the genie in her likeness, but nothing says that it's her, but it's just part of the record. Like the bee, it's a honeybee, but it's also for B. Lawrence.
Well, you know
And
what I think is great in our technology today is to have a little code on all of them that you can show and it'll tell a little story about.
Like
each
the
of their-
benches.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm a little discombobulated. I'm in front of the dragon hydrant at bench number 7.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, the benches don't have to go with hydrants.
No,
They
I
can
know.
have,
She's just saying.
yeah,
but I just think that we could do that because
Little
like,
QR
you're
code.
right, they all have stories. They really do.
Yeah.
People thought about what they were gonna do.
Well, I think the first thing we need to do though is let them know if we want them to move hydrants to a certain place, right?
Right.
Yeah, so
Right.
that's where we're at.
Okay, so the
Like, I
loose
get a
ones
little-
need to go somewhere.
Checklist.
Okay.
And how many do we want to?
So, I mean, we can do that one of two ways. We can take the suggestion to print them out and we can sit in this room and kind of map out which hydrants will go where. We could do an offsite field trip and go look at them at the
Yeah, I-
courtyard and then
That'd be
go
fun.
on-site to Corey and on-site to the community park and then make
Yeah.
a decision. Hop in the park and rec.
I'll
van.
take pictures on the onsite.
Yay,
There you go.
Use those.
I
yay.
mean, we could literally make the groupings right there.
We
It's
should.
just easy to.
Correct,
grab.
Yeah, exactly.
Are they
And that's what I
easy?
think we do is we kind of.
We'll find some people with strong muscle, you know, they'll do it.
Wait, you want us to pick up those?
Hey, you gotta represent here. You're the only guy on the committee.
I know, we need more.
How-
Yeah, why don't we do
Huh?
it that way?
How heavy is a fire?
Meeting.
Look at.
I don't know.
How heavy are they? Them, because they're so.
I think that we could,
They'll get
Bolted.
bolted into.
I want them so stable the kids
Yeah.
can climb on it.
You know
Can
what,
we-
so people can sit on them.
so should we meet
Airbags.
or?
We can hop in the park van. We can go over, drive over to the courtyard.
How heavy is
Look at that.
hydrant?
We can go to the community park and go to.
They're
Cory,
iron.
figure out
They're-
which one this one-
I think that's
realize
what
it.
Gonna be the.
With our little pictures.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
No, pictures.
Makes it
We'll have
a lot of
pictures.
pressure.
So.
Have pictures and we'll.
So
we'll
could we
stand
do
there and do that.
pictures?
Stand and do that.
And then we
throw 'em
can
on the
do a
ground.
little,
Yeah.
Offsite.
We're going in the van over there to here, there, there.
And we'll have pictures.
It's not, it's actually not, it was not listening to me. It did not come up with, when I started to type in how heavy is a, didn't prompt me with
Oh.
fire hydrant.
Are there hydrants already at First Park on
No.
display?
No.
No. Okay, so we might want to save like 3.
What, really? Wow, that was not what I was
More
gonna
than-
say.
We're not gonna be able to put everything that's out there. Have you?
Oh, really?
Oh, I don't think
How
so.
much does it say?
150 to 500 pounds.
Yeah, they're.
Yeah,
And
they-
older fire hydrants were up to 800 pounds.
That's insane.
They're cast iron.
We're not gonna be
And they're gonna be bolted to the ground.
Yeah.
So that
In
they
my
don't
pants.
fall
That's good.
into
That's
lead.
a cast iron frying pan.
I don't think, looks like to me, I saw at least 25.
There's quite a few, yeah.
Oh,
We're not saying, we're
no,
not
no.
gonna be.
no, but they had listed all the ones that are already on the street. We're not taking those.
No.
Just the
No.
ones that are core.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
good.
saying there's at
That's
least
fine.
25, so we don't
That's
have to
fine.
worry about saving some.
Okay,
Right,
We're
okay,
not-
no.
What do you mean
gotcha.
saving
I
some?
mean,
I see
Well,
what
she
you mean.
said we wanted to make sure there was some in case later on down the line, we'd want to make sure there was some at Firth Park. And I said, I don't think we need worry. I think.
Or
there's
we could
enough
save all
there.
the new ones for Firth Park and like that way.
Whatever,
you
the
wanna
point is,
have-
I think
yeah.
there's enough
Yeah.
in storage that we're not gonna be putting out 25 hydrants all of a sudden.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Oh, it'll be.
Unless we find another
That'd be great,
spot.
but I like that
Otherwise,
process.
that's 12 like at each place. I thought.
I like your idea.
Yeah, so I like that process.
Okay.
So is that we're going
Should we just talk about first now?
here, or are we meeting and then going on our trip? So
Um,
are we gonna go on site first?
But me, or
Or pictures first.
with the picture to kind of just.
With
like,
pictures
what-
individual?
yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
yes,
So pictures first.
Pictures first, and
Okay.
we go on site and play them like
yeah,
cards.
yeah.
It'd be easier to move photos around.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, now that we know that they're a million pounds. They're
They've gone for a million
We're
pounds.
not taking-
Million pounds.
All together.
Someone's trying to pick up the heavy one.
There's some good personalities in those photos.
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
It's terrific.
And of course, I think some of the blank ones could be made into some pretty cool ones.
I do have
Yeah.
templates somewhere in my house
Ah.
for faces. So they're the original, like, there's like, maybe 10 different face styles that you see a lot of them have kind of similar faces.
No.
And for,
My artist self says.
Mhm.
no.
well, I don't know, if you're having, if you're,
Confident.
so you're having someone who they
Yeah.
never painted anything, or maybe haven't really painted a face. It gives an idea, so I have all
Yeah.
that old stuff still,
But
from
I-
when they first started.
I would be happy to do a workshop on how, I mean, I've helped a lot of people in town, like I did.
Yeah,
the
but
car- the
we're
car-
not there yet.
Okay, we're not there.
We're not there yet.
So,
A lot of fun possibilities.
I'm looking at, I don't have any public comment on this item. Is there somebody online who would like to make a comment on this item? You can raise your hand if you'd like. Okay, great.
Okay, moving on. Let's,
Mhm.
are we on to item E, discuss next steps for First Park?
Yes, so again, mostly an informational update for you. The last time we spoke was kind of phase one of First Park and knowing that there would be multiple phases. So I met on site with the Public Works Supervisor, kind of talk through the ideas that we've been floating. They are working on securing a contractor to perform the repairs to the Helix and the Turtle so that we can move forward with
Oh,
creating an
great.
RFP for an artist.
Good.
So they're working on that. We also talked about the feasibility of utilizing the downed tree trunk and converting that into a bench. So they're gonna have somebody out there to assess whether or not that is a viable trunk, because he said it's acacia and that's not ideal. But he's also putting feelers out for redwood or other alternatives that could be converted into a bench. They're removing the broken bench that's out there, but it's on a platform, so that creates an opportunity for an artful bench. If we want to pursue that at this time.
Just Arbor Upcycle,
Yeah, Arbor.
they
Upcycle.
will make it bend. They're arborists, but they're also make
Artists.
things with, yeah, so they're like a perfect.
So they took down the redwood tree in my rental. It's about that big,
Mm.
and that redwood tree became a play structure in San Francisco.
Oh,
I've got two red.
that. Love it.
Yeah.
And then we also talked about whether they would be open to the idea or of some type of barrier along Glen Park to prevent kids from running into the street. There's no budget allocation for something like that, but they're open to ideas if we want to propose kind of some artful
Did you
fencing.
see the pictures that I
That's
uploaded?
good. Yeah.
That could be an RFP for an
Oh,
artist.
I
don't you think?
uploaded pictures.
Well, I don't know if it could be or.
Where?
When I
think
was,
when we get
I'll
closer, we'll have a
go
better
check
sense.
again.
Okay,
They'll have better sense of their budget.
Actually, I can show you guys.
I could see like a cutout dragon, you know.
Whatever, yeah.
metal.
Yeah,
I'll share right now, though, 'cause they can't get it on the
Yeah, it could be.
No,
Those
I
doors.
can show you.
Yeah.
That we're at the circle, remember the 7 o'clock circle?
I mean, has there been a lot of complaints or concerns about kids running out to the street? Because I also just wonder, like, some people like that open feel
Yes.
as well.
The
So I
little
just,
ones. It's the little ones. We used to bring our little ones there.
It's the little ones.
It's scary.
It doesn't have to be like.
It doesn't have
be a
to be.
low, very.
Yeah,
easy
low.
base.
yeah.
Just something that doesn't need to be the whole way, right? It's only partial.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I
That's
would,
what I'm saying, but we're not there yet.
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
So what kind of direction are you looking for on First Park?
Nothing right now.
Okay.
I'll provide an update at our next meeting to let you
Yeah.
know where we are with
Because we
Public
need-
Works.
And
And
are,
then-
and like what Karen was talking about infrastructure, is it gonna get dug up for drainage or something or what?
Not that they shared with me.
Okay.
That was
Yep.
more my thought. It's like, oh, we can't get all excited about doing something. They're gonna dig it all
They gotta
up.
dig it
No.
up.
Yeah, we gotta let them do their stuff.
No, and they already had a project in the works to restore and repair the fountain that's at the top of the stairs by the parking area.
That's
So
cool.
They're working on that. as
Oh,
well.
good. Okay, great.
In this park, they were worried about the kids running into the street and they're concrete planters.
Yeah.
Nice.
See, there's so many
small.
ways.
There's so many
Lots of
ways.
stuff.
You didn't get that?
No.
Yeah. Or I love cut metal, like crazy cut metal.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Same.
Oh, okay, go through Hightail. I usually forward it on, so I don't remember.
Well, maybe it didn't.
Or
get there, but I know. I
stack-
did.
Okay.
Let's try again. Do Hightail and
Did
then.
you,
I
did you
Yeah.
actually
Do,
folder?
you do a stacked rock with
think I'm.
built-in
just
benches.
About-
Yeah.
Could be.
About a week ago,
concrete.
I uploaded my whole benches folder to you guys.
Like the back of the community.
I'll make a note to look for that.
It's all old concrete, the walls.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh, concrete.
as I shared, I can provide an update regarding Public Works'
Okay.
progress on those items.
Okay.
And then if we want to move forward some concept ideas on a fence or
With
a
the
bench.
What
with
about the
this,
mosaic?
Yeah, that would be sick.
Oh,
I want a mosaic so bad somewhere.
Yeah, that would be pretty.
Yeah, the mosaic stairs is what I would say.
Newport Park has an old one, right?
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of built into the hillside.
Yeah, yeah.
That would be.
Oh, I got pictures, some beautiful,
Just a-
mosaic
It's a
art.
good place for a mosaic.
It is.
Larger. bricks.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so,
That would be beautiful.
I mean,
My-
Tom just
Where they used
mentioned
to be.
the,
But yeah, oh yeah. I agree. I agree.
at the entrance of Firth Park, when you're going up Glen Park, the very bottom of Firth Park,
Mhm.
there used to be red tiles that say Firth
Firth
Park.
Park,
right.
Kind of covered up into the hillside, and he mentioned incorporating that into kind of the future
Yeah.
phase 2 of
Totally.
artfully
That's it.
designing.
They
Firth
could go to
Park.
the fence or whatever, it should all
Yeah.
match.
My
I mean, yeah,
question,
even
all
in its
turtles.
crumbled space, it's still beautiful.
my question is when we're thinking about this mosaic and we're thinking about, whatever this potential wall is, would that fall under, an RFP and getting an artist to do these? I think
Yeah.
that's where we let an artist go crazy and see what we can
Yeah.
come up with some
Exactly.
really fun
Absolutely.
art.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I walked through BES on the weekend and even on that top blacktop, the stairs that have got the kids' tiles on them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. So
That
cute.
was autumn.
Yeah, that was great.
That was fun.
Yeah.
That's fun.
It could be number 2 after fire hydrants for the park.
There you go.
And it was a
Could
totally.
be a first
every
master plan
kid's-
project.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
It could be a community process.
Right, it could be, an RFP that's an
Everybody
artist
makes
in
it part.
resident with the schools.
I
They
love
do
it.
this. I mean.
That's awesome.
All right.
Okay,
All right, so.
Public comment?
I don't think I have public comment.
Autumn did all that stuff,
Text.
just got the tile.
Anybody
That's the
online
one. Oh, it was
or on
incredible.
Zoom like
No,
to
the
make a
kids
comment
picked
on
it
this
up.
item? I don't have any emails. Okay, great. Do we have enough direction for staff? It's just waiting.
Made
until
you
we-
busy.
Okay. Okay.
And the next,
Sorry.
You want to open to general public comment?
It is good. It's
that-
exciting.
I'm sorry.
Just open up to general public comment
Yes,
or
that's
anything.
Sorry. Yes, open, do I do that?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, open up to general public comment, if there's anyone who wants to comment.
Hand. Like I said, I didn't get any emails.
Anyone listening?
Okay.
Okay, great. So next meeting, we have the date, go ahead.
Well, we're gonna have to change the date if possible. We have a bit of a conflict, but it may also depend on if we're trying to get these 3
Firms.
firms.
Schedule their interviews.
What's the conflict?
I'm gonna be on the East Coast from the 12th to the 19th for a family wedding.
I could do the 23rd.
I'm in Italy.
23rd.
23rd.
Oh, 23rd.
Are you in Italy in the 23rd? Is that what you're saying?
I am in Italy from the 7th, well, I have to leave on the 15th through the 20. Yeah, through that weekend, so I'll be back on the
You would have been gone
30th.
anyway.
Yeah, I'll be back on the.
Yeah, so it's Lisa's fault.
When are you back?
Physically, I'm back on the 27th, but I'm in LA, so I have to get back from there, so I probably won't, that's the
30th.
weekend.
Is
so
the
I would
9th
Or
say-
the 9th.
Are we closed the 9th for Indigenous Peoples' Day?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, we are. But
Is that
we could do
November?
Maybe a Tuesday, October 10th.
Yeah, October 10th, I'm free.
Friday.
Oof.
No,
Mm-mm.
Friday. Okay.
I have
Tuesday?
Foundation Cemetery County Board on the
30th is not a possibility. Or
The
is it too
30th?
late?
Doesn't sound like she'd be available.
30th, I am
Yeah.
available, yeah, I'm back.
30th,
Mhm.
right before Halloween,
I'm here the 30th.
I'm here on the 30th.
day before Halloween. Get all dressed up.
The 9th, we're closed, correct?
Mhm.
The 2nd.
Uh,
I'm just thinking because we'll need 2 meetings,
How about
one for the
2nd and
purpose of
30th?
interviews and one for the
Well, the
purpose of, Yeah.
second is a council meeting usually. Right?
No,
This-
Monday.
Wait, what?
October 2nd, Monday,
Oh,
October
October
2nd.
2nd, I'm sorry. I was looking at, I'm moving into.
I'm not here October. Wait. Am I? here?
October 2nd and 30th, I'm free.
October 2nd, I'm here I just can't be before noon because I'm flying in.
I'm not
from-
here. I'm not here October 2nd. But that doesn't.
Do we want to just send out like a Google poll or?
I
Yeah,
thought we're not doing October 30th.
We can do October.
I do the 30th as one of the days, yeah.
You
for
wanted
sure.
to find another one.
I mean, well, we may not necessarily need to find another one because, I mean, if we're only doing 20 minutes with a 10-minute break in between, I mean.
Yeah.
And that's the only item on our thing, on our
And-
schedule. on
Well,
our
she's saying
agenda.
two because she like
And the
needs to
hydrants.
update us on first and hydrants, like going to the hydrants.
Well, wouldn't the
Unless
next
you
one
could just
come
do it
in November
3
then?
weeks For our usual meeting.
We could just do it in, I mean, I don't think there's a huge rush.
Yeah, the first part we could do in November. Let's schedule, is that okay with
October
everyone?
30th? November is
October 30th.
way more open.
Fine with me.
Okay.
And we-
Those firms. gives
Yeah,
them
we'll need to
time,
lock in
right?
that date with
And we
them.
need to lock in
Well,
that date.
especially if we're gonna ask them to write something.
No.
I don't think we should do that. October 30th.
My ADHD.
So we're assuming
I'm
it'll.
gonna reach out to December. Send me information.
Okay.
What are our dates?
That's right.
Not yet, we haven't gotten
And
it.
you want to start
I'd be-
earlier? Is
I'm
it
just
4:30? Start at 4?
everything.
People do have.
We'll probably,
Okay, oh, never mind. It's
Try to
fine.
be as consistent as possible.
All right.
you know, we already-
4:30. If- I was just thinking. 'cause-
And we're gonna have to be kind of at their whim anyway, so,
so have we settled on the 30th?
October 30th.
Okay, October
so
30th.
we would.
And I'll try to schedule all
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
And then we're at, as regularly scheduled. In
The
Yeah, for
following
November.
November.
Yeah.
And then we'll go back to.
At what time did we say?
4:30.
4:30.
The first interview would probably be 4:45.
So you'll send out
'cause
an
we have to do
update.
all of our introductory
Yeah.
stuff,
Yep.
and then it'd be on like 20 minutes, half hour scheduling. Okay,
Okay,
wonderful, thank you, everybody.
shall we, call this meeting adjourned?
Yeah.
Call adjourned.
Meeting is ended at 5:28 PM.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Can I take these?